Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies. On behalf of the Confederation of Indian Industry, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you here today at the inaugural session of the CII Annual Business Summit 2024. The theme, Co-Creating the Future Responsibly, Role of Business. To begin with a special plenary session, I'd like to begin by requesting Mr. R. Dinesh, President CII, to address us, please.
Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Sanjeev, Rajiv, Chandrajit, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, members of CII. A warm welcome to you all for the opening plenary of the CII Annual Business Summit. My special welcome to the Honorable Finance Minister who has graced the occasion as our chief guest. Honorable Minister, your participation at CII over the last many years has been of great value, strength, and empowerment. Your advice on forums like this and at other smaller meetings has helped CII shape its agenda effectively. We have always found in you a person who has not just listened to us, but has involved us so widely in every policy consultation. Many times this year, CB and I have met you. You have been on many platforms with us. You have talked to CII, and you have been very great. We are very grateful to you for your strategic insights and your proactive approach, which continues to motivate us. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did the Honorable Minister readily agree for this annual session, but when CB and I met her, she allowed or gave us the inputs to plan this session. Let me now welcome the Honorable Finance Minister to this session. My special welcome to all of our guests here. Honorable Ministers, over the years, CII has been working closely with you across a range of issues. Let me mention a few key highlights. First, CII was long advocating for lowering corporate tax rates and reducing complexities. It was a most welcome announcement that you made in 2019 to slash the rate with no exemptions and later to reduce it further for new manufacturing investments. This has helped attract investments and made India an attractive destination for overseas and Indian companies. You have really walked the talk, and today we see that the private sector is also coming in to support this. The tax reduction had been promised many times earlier, but you went ahead and did it. Second, GST has been one of the biggest reforms undertaken by the country. You have taken it to the next level, and by working closely with the states, making the changes needed by industry. This has added to the ease of doing business and tax realization, which has helped the growth journey and supported inclusivity. Your capex-led growth strategy was a bold step, and your foresight to continue that during COVID, in spite of our many requests to do otherwise, has really made India globally competitive. Today, the public capex targets have crossed 10 lakh crore, which incidentally was a number which CII had recommended, and this has been a huge jump and helped develop India's competitiveness. You managed to do all of this while reining in the fiscal deficit with a laser focus. The stimulus given by the government was well calibrated, and your work to maintain the glide path and proposed to bring down the fiscal deficit to 5.1% over 2024-25. All of these game-changing reforms, coupled with the insolvency and the bankruptcy code, reduction in NPAs, have helped improve investor confidence, and we really appreciate your partnership approach with industry. While we compliment you on all of these achievements, these strategies have also triggered a multiplier effect that industry has gained from. In fact, the rest of the world now learns from you how to balance growth, fiscal deficit, inflation, and therefore India has emerged as the third largest economy in the world. Thank you, Minister, for your astute leadership again. Honorable Minister, you have trusted industry, and we have prioritized in building trust as a cornerstone during this past year. It is necessary for industry to build global scale, global capability, and capital will be required to make that happen. CII believes that Indian businesses should be strong, competitive, and trusted to lead India and the world going forward. Let me give you a brief report card on how we have worked on building trust, both between industry and its various stakeholders as well as the community. With the community, we focused on livelihood and capacity building during the year, and your quiet support has actually truly helped in making it happen. CII was proud that the Honorable Prime Minister launched the CII TVS Mobility Center of Excellence on employment and livelihood in Madurai. On the globalization dimension, you encouraged CII to establish the Global Economic Policy Forum, where we had discussions on not just the global economy, but also how top thought leaders of the world can support the Indian economy, and the credibility of India was well established. You have also helped us engage with an event on the sidelines of the IMF World Bank to cover issues on sustainability and its transition funding at the global level, which started with Marrakesh and now continues. You also supported us in shaping the discussions in a productive manner with the global investment community, not only by offering us inputs at the appropriate time, but also helping Indian industry further coordinate with its external stakeholders. This has helped in building trust in India. Moving on to the competitiveness of industry and building trust among businesses, we have taken multiple initiatives to work deeply with the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities of India. As you may be aware, CII has many centers of excellence which work with industry, support competitiveness, sustainability, and quality. I'm happy to inform that we have now 70 offices across India, and starting with Indore, we are now opening centers to provide the services of all of these centers of excellence, which will help in improving the quality, sustainability, and energy efficiency of all of our members and others. The CII Center in Madurai is an example of this. CII has traveled with you to the Northeast region as well, where we worked on infrastructure and logistics support. Our work in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities will further expand as we go forward to support the inclusive growth of India. Speaking of sustainability, CII is starting to work on bringing out a comprehensive solution for mobility, which will be sustainable, which will cover goods and services, which will cover the first and last mile connectivity, shared mobility, and personal mobility. Continuing with building trust, CII has gone to the villages and rural areas and set up centers for non-agriculture rural jobs. We are also partnering in public health and education, and with a very strong focus on skills, we'll be reaching out to 1 million youth a year. Honorable Minister, with CII's focus on building trust, we are moving away for asking from SOPs and subsidies. As we continue to move ahead with this trust-based relationship, we hope to see lesser compliance requirements from the government, the regulators, and the greater participation of industry to support this and make this happen. Minister, I would like to welcome you and look forward to your insights and guidance today to set the tone for our discussions with the next 2 days. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Excellencies. Thank you, members. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, Honorable Minister. Uh, we come to a session which is very special at this point in time. This is a CII President's Award. This award was initiated in 2012-2013, and the CII President's Awards recognizes some remarkable contributions which have been made by some of our exemplary corporate leaders. And the key criteria, as you see on the screen, of the selection of the awardee are their contributions to the industry, society, their global repute, their contribution to CII, and the contribution in laying foundation of a modern Indian industry. So far, we have had several luminaries who've got this award. As you see in the screen, these since 2012, 2013, these were our awardees who have received the CII President's Award. The jury for the CII President's Award for 23-24 comprised of select Indian industry leaders under the chairmanship of Mr. R. Dinesh, who is the president of CII for 23-24. The jury under the President CII has decided to bestow the award for 23-24 to Mr. K.V. Kamath, the former chairman of ICICI Bank and chairman of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. And may I request for a film to be played on Mr. K.V. Kamath, please.
Driven by the passion of building the foundation of Indian industry, the banking sector. Fueling demand, driving economic growth, whilst empowering consumers. Mr. Kamath set the path of making banking accessible and within everyone's reach. He is an inspiring journey, shaping India's banking sector through the ups and downs of the 21st century. Mr. K.V. Kamath's career is marked by several notable milestones and achievements. Under Mr. Kamath's leadership, ICICI Bank transformed into one of India's largest private sector banks.
India will become a global financial center in the coming years. That's because the growth that we see in India, continued 10% growth momentum, and acceleration in terms of economic development, would make this a very large economy.
Mr. K.V. Kamath donned the mantle of President CII in the year 2008, when the performance of the Indian economy was strong, despite concerns in the global financial markets. Mr. Kamath's extensive contributions to the banking and finance industry have garnered widespread recognition. He was honored with the Padma Bhushan for his distinguished service in the fields of trade and industry. Under his leadership, ICICI Bank transformed itself into a diversified, technology-driven financial services group across banking, insurance, and asset management in India with a global presence. As Infosys chairman, Mr. Kamath was instrumental in sharpening the governance processes at a time when the company was embarking on a new strategic direction. Moving to a global platform, Mr. Kamath was appointed the first chief of the new development bank of BRICS countries and led its growth to a strong multilateral development bank. Selected as the chairperson of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, he set in place a system for catalyzing infrastructure funding for India. As President CII in 2008-2009, Mr. K.V. Kamath helmed CII's active role in responding to the challenges posed by the global financial crisis. Under his leadership, CII drove the agenda of increasing competitiveness of the Indian economy and the vision of building India. The CII India at 75 Foundation was launched during his tenure as President CII. Guided by his insights, CII suggested proactive policy measures, many of which were favorably considered by the government and regulatory authorities.
I have to acknowledge the support that we got as CII from the government, right from the Prime Minister down to the administrators and everyone in between. And indeed, in all this, the efforts put by our own team here within CII in making sure that what we wrote just did not stay on paper. What we wrote was followed up on, was translated into action.
A member of the CII National Council for decades, Mr. Kamath led councils on corporate governance and financial services when these areas were undergoing dramatic transformation. His vision and insights strengthened CII's role in national development. CII salutes his commitment to India's growth and charting the path as we go ahead. Mr. K.V. Kamath.
I request Mr. K.V. Kamath to please come on to the dais and receive the award from the Honorable Minister, please.
Honorable Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, my friends on the dais, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be short because we want to hear the Finance Minister, Honorable Finance Minister. But it's my duty to acknowledge this recognition. And I want to say that this recognition is really for the team. All the teams that have worked with me all through my career at various points in time. And particularly at CII, because this is where I think I had the most to contribute to industry at large. And in that, I particularly will remember one thing and then end what I have to say. That is, we also did a great transition in CII during my term. That is from one great leader, Tarun Das, to another great Director General, CB, who is here with us. And they have carried, and this team has carried the flag forward, as it were, and done service to industry. Thank you again for this recognition, which I accept with great humility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamath. Thank you, Honorable Minister. It's now we move to the next section, and that's the presentation that we have on CII Foundation for Women Exemplars. So we have a Women Exemplar Award program, and this was institutionalized in 2005. And this program of Women Exemplar, many people question why, as an industry association, we were giving awards to women grassroots leaders. But today, this has become a very strong movement. And this year is the 19th edition of the award. And this year, we received over 300 nominations from across the country, including areas like the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So it's a great moment for us to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, 3 winners of the Women Exemplar Award for 2024. May we have the film, please?
This is the story of women with an indomitable spirit who did not accept things they could not change. They changed the things they could not accept. Since 2005, CII has been recognizing such women through its Woman Exemplar Award, now in its 19th edition. This program is a benchmark for recognizing grassroots women leaders who stand tall as nation builders. This year, CII Foundation received over 300 nominations from across the country. The nominated grassroots women leaders have led social transformation in the areas of education, health, and micro-enterprise. The nominations were scrutinized using a multi-step process, which included telephonic interviews, due diligence visits, and jury assessment by eminent members from industry, the development sector, and the media. Presenting the education category finalists. Basmati Gagrai from Jharkhand. Videshini Patel from Odisha. Pramila Chauhan from Madhya Pradesh. Ranjita Pawar from Maharashtra. Sandhya Devi from Odisha. The CII Foundation is proud to present the award in the education category to Ranjita Pawar from Osmanabad, Maharashtra. Ranjita Pawar, born into the stigmatized Laman Banjara tribe, rose as a bold advocate from Osmanabad, overcoming abuse, violence, poverty, and gender discrimination. She founded Samarth Kalyankari Sanstha, empowering 40,000 plus individuals from nomadic tribes and denotified tribes with foundational education in the local dialect, Gormati, which led to notable academic and psychological progress among Laman children. We salute Ranjita's dedication and present her the Education Category Award for her transformative impact on her community.
सभी को नमस्ते। मैं रंजिता, घुमंतुक आदिवासी बंजारा समुदाय से मैं आती हूँ, जिस समुदाय को सिर्फ क्रिमिनल मान के बाहर फेंका गया था और वो सारी सुविधाओं से वंचित थे। तो उनके ही बीच में उन्हीं समुदाय से उभर के कुछ युवाओं ने साथ मिलके हम लोगों ने 15 साल पहले एक छोटा-सा एजुकेशन का काम शुरू किया था, जो आज एक बड़े पैमाने पे उभर के आ रहा है। लाखों बच्चों के साथ में हम वहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं। तो उसी को एक बड़े मंच पे आज ये अवार्ड मिला है। इसके लिए मैं सीआईआई फाउंडेशन को तहे दिल से धन्यवाद व्यक्त करती हूँ और थैंक यू।
Presenting the health category finalists. Chandravati Nigam from Uttar Pradesh. Hiroda Mahato from Jharkhand. Meena Jat from Rajasthan. Meena Singh from Uttar Pradesh. Rumi Parveen from Bihar. In the health category, the award goes to Rumi Parveen from Kishanganj, Bihar. Battling poverty, child labor, and an abusive marriage, Rumi emerged as a change maker in Kishanganj, Bihar by the age of 23. She identified and tackled the prevalent issue of tuberculosis in the region and exhibited exceptional leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rumi's commitment to holistic health led her to establish Sapno Ki Pehel, an NGO focusing on menstrual and reproductive health and developing women leaders along the way, impacting over 170,000 women and children through her work. The CII Foundation presents the Health Category Award to Rumi for her unwavering dedication to holistic health.
मुझे आज बहुत खुशी और गर्व महसूस हो रही है कि मैं इतनी छोटी सी उम्र में यहाँ तक आई हूँ और इसके वजह से मैं बहुत प्रेरित और उत्सुक भी हूँ आगे काम करने के लिए। एंड सीआईआई फाउंडेशन को बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेरे तरफ से। थैंक यू सो मच।
Presenting the Micro Enterprise Category finalists. Amitabh Patel from Gujarat. Anuradha Bharadwaj from Uttar Pradesh. Godavari Maravi from Madhya Pradesh. Leelabati Mohanta from Odisha. Sangeeta Gaikwad from Maharashtra. Saraswati Malluvalasa from Andhra Pradesh. In the Micro Enterprise category, the winner is Saraswati Malluvalasa from Vizianagaram, Andhra Pradesh. Drawing from her own experience with domestic violence and gender discrimination, Saraswati recognized the correlation between food insecurity, economic dependence, and violence against women. She established the Millet Sisters, a network of small-scale women farmers to ensure food security through livelihood enhancement, improving the income of over 20,000 women. The CII Foundation salutes her for empowering women by providing livelihood opportunities and presents the Micro Enterprise Category Award to Saraswati Malluvalasa.
सभी को नमस्कार। Thank you CII for this wonderful recognition. I am working for socio-economic development of women, for vulnerable women through millet promotion. As all we know, millets are the very miracle grains and also crucial for us now. So I strongly believe that without economical development, social justice is highly impossible. For that, I am humbly appealing to all this forum. Kindly provide 1 crore investment for our millet sisters as a revolving fund with low or no interest. This is a dire need for us to improve our livelihoods and also strengthen our food security. Thank you, Ananda. Thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am.
The 2024 cohort of women exemplars join over 100 exemplars who are impacting over 2 million people annually through their work. The CII Foundation salutes these exemplary women who lead by example and become role models for other women.
May I request our dignitaries to please come forward and for a photo opportunity with all the awardees who are here today with us. Please join. Please join. May I also invite all the jury members who are present here today to join the photograph.
It's now my proud privilege to invite the Honorable Finance Minister for her inaugural address.
Good morning, and what a very motivating gathering this is. The annual business summit of the CII has always been one such a forum which had critical thinking and laying a path towards the next few years. This is my assessment of the annual business summit. Coincidentally, it could mark the end of one presidency and the beginning of another, which is going to probably be the case this time as well, with the Dinesh laying down office today and Puri taking it over tomorrow. But it has always been a time when CII has laid before itself and before the nation an approach to working together with the government and also making sure that globally industry partnership takes a clear-cut route so that the global challenges are faced with a greater understanding and the national opportunities that exist are also fully leveraged. And because of this nature of the annual business summit, I've always found it a very meaningful morning spent, sometimes in the evening, I think. And I've had the benefit of taking away quite a few thoughts which have come out of this gathering. Even otherwise, I've always maintained that CII is one such an industry forum which gives the public policy makers an advantage in that the sharing of ideas emanating from a CII meeting has always been so well rooted, well thought through, And as a result, for any government, this would be one of the things to do from the takeaway that we really benefit from. So it's kept itself very close to the industry, to all its members, and also to the economic environment which is prevailing in a country or in the context of the global developments. So I've always found this useful for me, found it very rewarding for me to be participating with you all. And again, therefore, to Dinesh and to the entire CII team, I really express my gratitude for giving me yet another opportunity to be here, to share my thoughts, and also to hear from you. We are at a stage in India where hearing is fine, listening is fine, taking inputs is fine, but it cannot be accompanied with comments or opinions. It's election season. Model code of conduct works. No slip is entertained. So I'm here to convey probably just a picture of what lies before us in India. And being the fastest growing economy, very well recognized by global observers and institutions about Indian economic, macroeconomic strengths for India, I wish to take this opportunity to just lay the path before us, which would be something the industry can mull over, and sometime soon after the government is formed post-election. And let me say here, we are confident that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming back with a good majority. And therefore, soon after the government is formed, we look forward to a more pointed engagement with the CII to see what best can be done in the July budget, which will be the full year's budget, because what happened on 1st February, as you all know, was a vote on account. It just takes care of the expenditure for the first quarter till such a time the new budget is presented. And for the new budget, therefore, a lot of consultation can begin with the CII team as well. So I'll lay before you some fundamental indicators which you can use for co-creating the future responsibly, not just for India, for also for your partners elsewhere. India's story is a compelling growth story. India's story is a compelling growth story for several reasons. I'm not going to elaborate the reasons before you, but some things which have been observed by very many groups around the world are worth placing now before us. The IMF estimated that India's contribution to the global growth for 5 years beginning 2023 will be 18%. So between 2023 and 28, we are looking at an India which is going to be actually very dynamic, contributing 18% to the global growth. Now, another agency, the S&P Global Market Intelligence, has also highlighted quite a few points. I'll highlight only 3 of what the observations are. The Indian consumer market is likely to double by 2031. I'm not saying from where it is going to reach what level. I'm only highlighting the opportunity that lies in that consumer market doubling. $2.9 trillion opportunity lies waiting in that. S&P also says consumer spending on food is estimated to rise to $1.4 trillion US. Again, a $1 trillion opportunity lies in waiting in that as well. S&P's third observation, spending on financial services will climb to 670 billion US dollars. There, it's a $390 billion opportunity that lies waiting for us. So, fastest growing economy will continue to remain as the fastest growing economy for the next few years as well, as much as people can foresee. But what is actually contributing to this fastest growing economy that lies untapped till now? These are the kind of opportunities. We also know clearly both the central bank, that is RBI in India, and the government's own economic survey reports have repeatedly said, from those days of twin balance sheet problem in 2013-14, today it is a twin balance sheet advantage situation. So both the corporate sector's balance sheet and the government and the financial sector's balance sheets have all just not turned around the corner, are now in pink of health. And if that is the case, the vibrancy with which investments can happen, expansions can happen, and the banking sector can be buoyant enough to address the credit requirements, push the economy faster, make sure that the big and small all have credit access, and that the banks themselves will therefore be able to be the track on which the economy can move fast. So the twin balance sheet advantage, as the RBI called this development, is there before us for both the opportunities and for the confidence element that this situation gives us. Much has been said about the demographic dividend. But I also want to underline the fact not just that it gives you skilled manpower, on which the skilling exercise is both from the private and also the public sector. Some also with joint partnership with public and the private industry groups themselves identifying the level of skilling and in the areas of skilling that they want, inclusive of AI, deep data. Skilling is really being ramped up in India. So the demographic dividend, which will persist for the next 30 years. So you're talking of India's growth story. You're talking of where the opportunities lie, whether it is the consumer spending, as I just gave you 3 points from the S&P intelligence report. I also want to underline that the window of this demographic dividend is there before us for the next 30 years. And this demographic dividend for the next 30 years is historically lowest on dependency. So it comes with that added advantage that demographic dividend with the historically lowest dependency ratio, which means the net benefit is going to be towards more increase in consumption. Another highlightable point, which I'm sure is already observed, is India's transition towards green energy, green economy, sustainable and future which is responsibly got to be built up. It is sure to generate a new market and global demand. A 2021 report of the World Economic Forum projects that 50 million net new economy jobs are going to be created in India because of that, and a 1 trillion economic impact by the year 2030. You already see that in solar energy, the push that has been given due to the favorable policies of the government, other than, of course, the favorable policies on green hydrogen, green ammonia, all of which are really taking good concrete shape. The solar energy itself has shown the extent to which job creation possibilities exist at various levels, various skill sets, and skill set levels also being different has generated a lot of interest. With these advantages placed before you, I also want to underline, much against the advice given by some economists that India should no longer be looking at manufacturing or ramping up manufacturing, I like to highlight the fact that manufacturing must increase. India must also increase, with the help of policies, its share in manufacturing in global value chains. So, we need to have greater sophistication in our product manufacturing. We also need to see how best this can be given policy support. Capgemini Research Institute gave a report which came out in May 2024 that India figures at the top of the list of investment destinations for senior executives in Europe and in the US who are looking to reduce their dependence on China and shift part of their manufacturing capacity to emerging markets. So their preferences for India, 65% of nearly 760 executives surveyed were planning to increase investments significantly in India. Expanding manufacturing also will be to help India be self-reliant, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Presently, the telecom sector's PLI has actually helped India to become better Atmanirbhar, in that 60% import substitution has been achieved in the telecom sector. That itself gives quite a big scope for our Indian industry. PLI scheme is also transforming the mobile and electronics sectors from 78% import dependence in 2014, from 78% import dependence in 2014, today 99% of all mobiles sold in India are made in India. 99%. Value addition in electronics and smartphone manufacturing too have grown significantly, having crossed 20% from the negligible level of 2014-15. India is becoming Apple's second largest manufacturing hub for iPhones outside of China. iPhone exports nearly doubled in April 2024, reaching $1.1 billion compared to $580 million in just the previous year. So that 1 year rapid growth is very noticeable. If I'm speaking of manufacturing sector, there's a word to be said about the service sector as well. India commands over 50% of the world's global capability centers and remains the most preferred destination, creating significant domestic and global opportunities in the service sector. The number of GCCs in India has increased by approximately 60% since 2015-16, reaching more than 1,580 in 22-23. So I would like to present that the fundamental basis for this consistent and steady growth and high growth is the policy stability, absence of flip-flops, corruption-free decision making, and making sure that the facilitation both in legislative and also the legal frameworks are all simultaneously going on, having heard from the industry that rapid changes are required in our compliance regime. So, without taking more of your time, I would want to underline the fact that the Prime Minister Modi-led government looks at private sector as a partner in developing India. Even as we set 2047 as the year in which or by which India should become a developed country, we see a very big role for private sector, and we would like to partner with them in the development, government acting as a facilitator and an enabler. CII's annual business summit, of course, serves, as I said earlier, as a platform for collaboration, innovation, and for strategic planning. It enables you and also us to synergize the efforts, share insights, and harness the collective experience and expertise in various sectors. I hope India makes the best use of it. So thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Shrimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, colleagues on and off diets, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This has been truly a very enlightening and inspirational session. It not only sets the tone for the summit, clearly articulates areas where industry can play a role in India's progress towards a Vikshit Bharat. And for CII in particular, it gives us a lot of inputs in shaping the work going forward, especially the year ahead. Honorable Minister, your suggestions today, your comments today, as always, have been extremely enlightening, insightful, and they will serve as a very important input for us as we go forward in charting out various areas going forward.